We're Emilie and Jon, and today we're going to share with you what our lives have looked like over the last 12 months, after we made the life-changing decision to sell our home and all our belongings to buy this.
After spending 2 years searching for land to buy, we had almost given up hope. Until one day we heard about an abandoned caravan park that was for sale just 10 minutes up the road. The land used to be home to the coal miners that worked in the colliery opposite, and when the mine closed back in 1989, it had been left to become completely overgrown.
We had zero expectations when we went to view the caravan park at first, but little did we know that this would become our future home.
So we made the biggest decision of our lives and sold our house, all our belongings, to buy this. We were left with just £500 in the bank, and looking back it seems crazy, but sometimes you just have to take the risk.
We had limited tools, limited knowledge and little funds left to help start renovating the land. That didn't hold us back, as we were so excited and itching to get to work.
We moved onto the land in a 20-year-old touring caravan we bought off Facebook. It seemed like a good idea at the time, but in reality we had no idea what we were looking for and ended up with a caravan that needed a lot of repairs and work.
We knew we were going to be living in the caravan for a long time, so decided to invest in fixing it up. At the beginning, we were worried we might regret selling our house. But living in the caravan over the last 12 months has made us realise how little we really need to be happy, and we can make anywhere a home.
We were so excited to find out that our land had its own water supply, so we spent day one trying to figure out where our pipes were hiding.
Our water engineer said he remembered seeing blue water pipes running along the surface somewhere in here. But after 3 days of relentless searching, we realised the pipes must have been buried since his last visit. So then we started removing the old caravan decking to see if we could find the water source.
We finally found our water pipe coming out the ground, so Jon got to work. He made a new connection off the old pipe and attached it to a new standing tap, giving us a fresh supply and access to running water on the land.
Now we'd connected our water, it was time to start clearing the land.
We had limited tools, but that didn't stop us cracking on.
We started work tackling the overgrowth at the front of the old caravans, so we could get better access ready to empty them.
Next we started work emptying the inside of the caravan. We totally underestimated just how much rubbish had been left behind, so we took our time to work through all the contents and make sure we were recycling whatever we could find.
During our first week on the land, we didn't have a shower on site, so we decided the next thing on our list should be building our own outdoor shower.
Our goal was to make it out of as many second-hand materials as we could find. Jon reused some aluminium sheets from his granddad's house for the shower walls, and we found the shower base off Facebook for free.
We were able to build the shower on one of the old caravan outhouse bases, which had direct drainage to our sewers, so this was the perfect spot for the build.
We bought a portable shower unit which creates instant hot water that's powered off gas bottles, and lucky for us we found 6 bottles of gas left on the land, so for the last 12 months we've had free hot showers.
The shower was such a luxury for us to have on the land, and I no longer had to worry about being caught again naked by the police helicopter while us having a cold hose off in our field.
Shower complete, we moved on to emptying caravan number 2.
Now the caravan was empty, I started breaking it down.
We had 2 old cars left on the land, so we had a local recycling centre come to collect them and we got £800.
We wanted somewhere safe and dry to keep our tools and materials, so we started clearing more of the overgrowth so we could make a space ready to put a steel shipping container.
When we bought the land, we had £500 left in the bank, so this was the first thing we had been able to save up enough money to buy.
Now we had somewhere safe to keep our tools, I invested in our first bit of machinery. After finding this brush cut mower second-hand on Facebook, it was a perfect thing to help us tackle our overgrown land. Sadly it was short-lived and the machine stopped working after day 2.
So instead we continued cracking on breaking down another caravan.
Lucky for us, a lot of the interior is made of wood, so we could just load it up into our van and take it to our local recycling centre.
After finding a roll-top bath for sale for £50, we decided to reuse some of the old caravan decking and make a little outdoor bath area we could enjoy. We were so happy with how the outdoor bath turned out.
After 5 months of being on the land, we finally saved up enough money to order our chassis for our tiny house build. Our land only has planning permission for residential park homes, so we ordered our chassis from UE Chassis in Northampton, who specialise in building these to the required code.
We took winter off any renovations or work on the land, so we could focus on our day jobs and save up our funds again. And after 3 months we started work back where we left off, breaking down the caravans.
Now the caravan was gone, we started removing these willow trees as this is where we want to build our tiny house. The trees block out the view and the amazing sunset, so we wanted to open up the space.
Next we got to work cutting up the old caravan floor.
Due to the age of the old caravans left on our land, the chassis were no longer fit for use. The park home building code we have to follow for our tiny house build requires a higher spec of chassis since they were built, so sadly they can't be reused.
The chassis turned out to be pretty rotten, so we would have struggled to salvage them.
Next we started trying to remove the mud off our driveway. We found old photos and discovered there was an actual tarmac road hiding underneath, so we got to work.
We had a visit from Jon's parents who borrowed a cherry picker so we could cut down some of the overhanging trees that were resting on our village's phone line. We were worried that they would become damaged in the storms and we didn't want our street to be disconnected.
All the recycling from the caravans has started piling up, so we loaded up another full van.
Jon then got to work removing the old decking. Later that week we sorted through all our aluminium recycling. We were so excited to see how much money we would get when we weighed it in. special thank you to today's video sponsor, HelloFresh. If you're new to HelloFresh, they are a recipe box delivery service allowing you to select from 100 different meal options off their website each week, and they deliver all the fresh ingredients along with cooking instructions straight to your door. We've been customers ever since I ordered us our first meal box way back in 2014. I definitely say Jon is the more naturally gifted cook between the two of us, and I first started ordering HelloFresh to help me get more confident in the kitchen. The meals have been a lifesaver while we've been busy working on the land, and it's been amazing knowing we have quick and healthy meal options waiting for us to cook when we get in, and now I know they will actually taste good if I'm cooking it. We love how affordable they are at only £3.15 per serving, so they're great if you're on a budget, and it's so convenient if we have friends or family visiting us on the land, as we can add extra portions on each week when we're ordering. HelloFresh have kindly given us a discount code for everyone watching. Get 60% off your first box plus 25% off your next 2 months plus free gifts. Just use code CAMPOUTWEST60 at the checkout and head to the link in our description to order your first box.
The recycling centre dropped off a metal bin for us, so we could load up all the caravan chassis and any other leftover metal.
Metal loaded, we started breaking down caravan number 2. While Jon was ripping out the interior, I started loading up all the wood ready to go to our recycling centre once the van was full.
When we bought the land, we tried to give away the caravans for free, but sadly nobody wanted them, as they were so old, they had water damage, mould, and the chassis were rotten, so we thought the next best thing was to recycle whatever we could.
With each day that went past, it was amazing to see how much the land was changing.
When we knocked down the second caravan, we weren't expecting to find a whole other caravan buried underneath. We also started finding lots of buried rubbish behind the caravans, which we didn't even realise was there.
Now back to breaking up the caravan floor.
Now caravan number 2 was gone, we started tackling all the rotten decking around caravan number 3, so we could have a better access to start breaking it down.
Jon's parents came up one afternoon to help us empty the caravan, and they brought us up their trailer for us to use.
Breaking down caravan number 3 felt like such a big milestone for us. Having been on the land for 10 months, we really struggled to stay motivated, having to fit in the work alongside our full-time jobs. It felt like we should be further along, but we were so proud of how much work we had been able to get done.
The weather was definitely the hardest thing we had to contend with on the land, with the rain being at an all-time record high for our area.
Now the 3 caravans were finally gone, we got to cleaning up and removing the rubbish left over, making sure we were recycling whatever we could.
This was such a satisfying process. After years of the land being unloved, we were giving it the attention it deserved.
I got to work breaking down the old rotten shed, which was filled to the brim with even more rubbish.
Then in the afternoon, Jon spent some time strimming the back of our field while I got to work removing the leftover caravan decking.
Next we started piling up all the wood we could keep and reuse for future projects.
Then all of the rotten wood left, we loaded up in the trailer to go to our recycling centre.
Now the wood was piled up, we decided to build a wood storage, so we had somewhere to keep all our future firewood.
It was amazing to see how quickly a power wash could completely transform the old decking.
So that's the end of our first 12 months here at Camp Out West. We filmed this clip on the day we moved on to the land. Looking back, it's easy to feel like you haven't done enough and should be further along, but putting together this video has made us feel so proud of everything we've done and fitted it in alongside our full-time jobs. The biggest thing we've learned is how little we really need to be happy, and we can make anywhere a home.
We hope you've enjoyed watching, and we can't wait to share with you our next step in this journey as we get ready to build our own tiny home. So don't forget to hit that subscribe so you can follow along.